Welcome to the Capitol. We are here with Senator Charlie Laster. Charlie, thanks for stopping by as always.
Good to be here, another week.
It happens really fast up here at the Capitol. I'll tell you, bills are now being pushed through committee, some are being heard, but a lot of committee activity going on now. What type of stuff is happening that is really true to your heart and you're fighting for?
Well, it's so hard to keep up with everything. It just literally 100 a week we'll go through up here. A lot of bills having to do with kids and with education are big. I had a couple of bills this week, kind of keeping with the theme of this program, that were ideas that came to me from my constituents in Pottawatomie County. One that we've read a lot about in the newspaper had to do with Social Security numbers and driver's licenses finding their way online and documents filed in the county clerk's office.
Mm-hmm.
So I filed a bill because of a lot of constituents' requests to me.
Right.
I filed a bill to prohibit that, and it made it through committee this week in Judiciary Committee on the Senate side, and I plan to move forward with that bill.
That'll be neat, but you touch on something that a lot of us might not understand, and it's part of the process up here as things happen. It's not like even you, Senator Laster, can say, okay, I want this done, and it happens. There's a lot of steps that it has to go through, and you just mentioned, I believe, the second step after the idea stage, the committee structure. Talk a little bit about where that bill actually will have to go before it becomes law.
After it goes through committee, and if I receive a favorable vote there, which I did, for example, on that committee, then it would go to the Senate floor, and I have to get it heard on the Senate floor. I have to convince enough of the colleagues to vote for it. If I prevail there, it goes to the House, where it also must go through a committee in the House. And if it survives that step, then it has to go to the House floor and survive that step. And if it passes in the exact same form in all four of those stages, then it can go to the governor. But unfortunately, a lot of bills get amended on the way, and they have to go through a couple of more steps, conference committee in the House and in the Senate together, and then back to the House and Senate floor again. So there are many ways that a bill fails, and literally thousands, 2,000 or more bills are filed every year, and a fairly small percentage actually make it into law.
So tell us, Charlie, do you feel, or that is the process, so whether we feel it's good or bad, but what are your feelings about that process and how many checkpoints, if you may, a bill has to go through?
I tell people all the time that government is way too powerful to be controlled by very few people, and it is a good thing that it has to move slow. Now, I know a lot of people out there think that we ought to just be able to snap our fingers and do the right thing and get it done. And in some cases, I wish we could do that.
Right.
But if you considered how powerful government was, and if, for example, you put all that power in one person's hands, it would be un-American. And so we want the power dispersed, and so that things get slowed down a little bit before they actually get enacted into law.
And any other examples, Charlie, of where parts of legislation that you've proposed and where they are now in the process?
Well, I had another bill, again, that was a constituent request. Some things are small and some things are big out here at the Capitol, and this was a small thing out here at the Capitol, but I'm sure for these people back home it's very big, and for other people, because the way the law was written, if we had a juvenile, a person who had been through the juvenile system, in some circumstances they could not be even in a home where someone had a firearm, and we wanted to try to make sure that police officers, especially people that were CLEAT certified, could be in the home with a child. It could be a stepchild, it could be a child,
Right.
A biological child, it could be a foster child.
Oh, okay.
But we didn't want a police officer to be prevented from having a child in the home who happened to have gone through the juvenile system. So Again, a small thing out here,
Right,
but
right.
to some people back home, I think it's going to be very important.
Definitely, and I can see the importance just of family structure, especially for kids going through the system. They need family, and to do anything that would prohibit that it just doesn't seem right.
That's right. So, again, that made it through step number one, and
Yeah.
we're on to the others.
All right, and again, two great examples from our senator, Senator Charlie Laster, as to how we make a difference in how laws are passed up here by feeding ideas.
I get some of the best ones from the people back home, so keep them coming.
All right, thanks a lot, and Charlie, thank you, as always, for being with us this week.
Good to be here.